simply a one precinct change. It takes precinct 6-2A, which after during the filing of Senate Bill 1 was placed in to Senate District 32. That now has been moved into Senate District 28. It's a simple change, and Senate District 28, as you can see, is predominantly Avoyelles Parish. So this just adds to the Avoyelles Parish. Just north simply a one precinct and east of Bourdelon change. So it's just one takes
one
precinct
precinct
6-2A, which after during the file
is back to the
filing
Caddo
of
area.
Senate Bill 1 was placed in
actually
to a part of those Senate
ones
District
that were
32
adopted yesterday. It's I believe
that now has been moved
all back
into
in
Senate District
this one.
28. So I'm going to
try
to
add only
Senate
the-
District 28, as you
speak
can
only
see,
of the new
is
ones,
predominantly
the
of
new
Avoyelles
precincts,
Parish. So this
the
just
addition
adds
to the
Avoyelles
Northwest.
Parish. In Shreveport area, there are 4 precincts: precinct 9, 16, 48, and 101, and 129. That's 5 precincts. They move from 36, and they're placed into 38. There are 3 precincts that are moved from 38. That's 72, 113, and 108, and placed in 31. And then precinct 115 is moves from 31 into 38. And some of those may be duplicative from yesterday, but I have them on the map, so I want to make sure that I talk them back through. I mentioned already the ones 136 and 130 A and B up in Caddo. Those were part of the amendment yesterday, but they're included in here as well as sort of a global amendment for the Northwest region. Okay, any questions on that particular one? In that same area, if you go to Desoto Parish, there were 5 precincts that were in Senate District 31 that are now going to be moved into Senate District 38. That's 31, 32, 34, 46, and 49. And again, those were, for the last 10 years, currently in Senate District 31, so they're basically returning to the district that had always had them. That's the DeSoto area. Okay, the next area is going to be the most complicated. I think what I'll do is go to the last amendment, which is the Webster area, Webster Parish. There is a precinct 31 up in Webster Parish that was in 33. That's now going to be moved into 36. And there are 3 other precincts, 24, 25, and 18, that were in 31 that will be placed into 36. Those are fairly simple. Again, point out that Webster Parish was represented by District 36 for the last 10 years. This just moves them back into that district. Okay, so now the major change is down in the Jefferson Parish and Orleans area. So in the bill, Senate Bill 1, District 7 had been a West Bank, Orleans, Jefferson district. It's the green one up there. In the bill, the original bill, it had needed to pick up population, and it picked up population in the Central Business District on the east bank of Orleans, right there. And so it had picked up the Port of New Orleans, the Convention Center, and all of those precincts right there. There was some concern about that, and so this amendment, and that required the Senate District 5 to come over to the West Bank, and you can see it on the map right there, but it had been an additional area, the other green area, that had come down, and those were both now part of Senate District 5. This amendment would put that back into Senate District 7, which is the West Bank district of Orleans and Jefferson, and puts only that other area in District 5, and it replaces the Central Business District back into that District 5. There are a couple of precincts, small changes, a couple of changes that go from District 7 in the Gretna area back to District 8, right in there. They're very small precincts, but they do have population in them. And again, it coincides with the current West Bank Jefferson District 8. In order for District 5 to accept, to get these back, District 5 had to give up some population, and so Senate District 9, which is the East Jefferson District, had to come to uptown Orleans and pick up 4 precincts, I think, 4 or 5 precincts right there. There's a little offshoot right there. And so it picked up those precincts. In order for its population to balance, Senate District 9 had to give up some Jefferson Parish precincts to Senate District 10. So for your purposes, Senate District 9 is currently held by Senator Henry. Senate District 10 is currently held by Senator Talbot. Senator Talbot took these, I believe it's 4 or 5 precincts off of Senator Henry's current district. In order for Senator Talbot's District 10 to pick up those, he had to relieve some population to the west. And so there are a couple of precincts that you can see in the western part of District 10 that went to District 19. That would be the district held currently by Senator Smith, Senator Gary Smith. He already represented that part of Jefferson Parish near the airport. So these are contiguous to that. So it's right outside of that area that he already represented. There is one precinct in Senate District 8 that Senate District 8 gave up to District 19, and that's Precinct 150. That's a big precinct geographically over by the Wagman area. If you go to the east in New Orleans, you will see that there were a couple of precincts that were currently in Senate District 1 that get switched and moved into Senate District 3, and some in Senate District 3 that get moved into Senate District 1. That's just a swap of 3 precincts from 1 into 3, and 1 precinct or 2 precincts into 3. I do believe we have one Senate District 4. Is that part of the change as well?
No.
Okay, so we maintained. There are a couple of swaps from 4 to 3. I know Senator Harris is here. I don't know the exact area, but I'm going to say it's in the Gentilly area that were in 3 that go to 4, and some that were in 4 that go to 3. That would be near, looks like it near the Marigny or going towards New Orleans East. So in essence, those are just some swaps to make numbers work out, literally all the way to the West Bank. And then you have, on the West Bank, Senate District 7 picks up a large portion of Plaquemines Parish that was currently in Senate District 8. That's a lot of moving parts, and I'm happy to go back over all of that with you. There's one piece that I haven't mentioned. and that's Senator Price. In order for Senator Gary Smith's district to pick up the population, he had to lose some population, and so there is a precinct in St. John that goes from Senator Gary Smith's district into Senator Price's current district, Senate District 2. So that's just one small precinct over there, 4-14. Many of these moves were to accommodate population overages or unders to allow for them to take it. The initial move was the lack of compactness in Senate District 5 caused this. As you recall, in the initial bill, Senate District 5 came across to the West Bank and had always been traditionally a centric East Bank, New Orleans district. I mentioned yesterday through the gentrification, there's been a lot of people move back to Orleans, but a larger percentage of those are white people. And so in order for the minority candidate, the minority district to have an opportunity to elect the candidate of their choice, we needed to create a higher VAP, voter age population, in the minority group. To do that, we had to relieve some of the population in the uptown, which this reflects, and had to go across to the West Bank to pick up some population. Now, that's kind of where it's at. If you want to know, does the delegation and everybody affected agree with this? I'm going to say that not everybody agrees that this is a perfect deal, but what we did was we tried to effectively give everybody as much of their current district as possible for the continuity of representation, so that those people who elected them could re-elect them or unelect them without making major shifts. That's what the attempt was. It's challenging. It's challenging because many of these are majority-minority districts, and they have to be taken care of with certain populations. So that's been the challenge. We worked through it. Senate District 5 is currently held by Senator Peterson. Senate District 7 is currently held by Senator Gary Carter. And Senate District 8 is currently held by Senator Pat Connick. Those are the West Bank areas that had to be dealt with, and they affected most of the East Bank moves. That movement of precincts basically have the ripple effect all the way to St. John Parish. And with that, I think that's the global amendment, starting from Northwest Louisiana and Royals and coming all the way down into Orleans. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was a great run-through, and I know everyone was, tracking that and following the amendment and the maps and everything. So thank you for all that. And it's quite a task, again, to balance all of those issues, the redistricting principles you're trying to juggle. And so, we appreciate your efforts on that.
Again, I'll just reiterate, most of the changes that were made in all of these global amendments were to put precincts back in their original district for that continuity of representation, along with creating more compactness. That's what the attempt was, and we hope that we've met those goals. Again, there are people still asking for amendments to change precincts here and there, but I think at this point, Madam Chair, I think the committee has sufficiently seen these changes, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But at this point, we could change it into oblivion. You just keep changing. So I'd like it to lie over, defer it again today, let everybody digest these, and then maybe come back and take action on the Senate map at some point the next day or so, and then let it lie over again, and then go to the floor action, where obviously floor amendments would be allowed, and we could discuss the map again with the whole Senate.
Okay. All right, we do have one question from Senator Harris.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. President, same as yesterday, these amendments, you had an opportunity to speak to the various senators to see how they felt and to try to work with everyone. Is that correct?
I did, and it seems like every time we get 5 or 4 to be satisfied, 1 was unsatisfied, and you never could quite get, at least in the Orleans-Jefferson area, a complete 100% agreement. Unlike the other areas of the state where we generally got, to 100% agreement on the changes in the other areas. Again, following those tenets and those principles that we laid out, that if you had it before, the continuity of representation, you ought to be able to get it. And this is what drove this one, as you recall, that whole East Bank and the port and the CBD and the convention center and all of that was in a district. It was taken out of that district, and part of this principle was, look, it was in that district, it ought to stay in that district. And so that was what drove the ripple effect of all of these changes.
And I also wanted to put on the record, I mean, you did mention something in reference with the population increase in Orleans Parish. For everyone on the committee, Orleans Parish picked up some 40,000 people, give or take 100 and something over that 40,000. As the president mentioned, 30,000 of those individuals were white. So we had to move some things around to accommodate the majority-minority districts that we had in the city. I can tell you it wasn't easy. My map, or my VAP went from 58.5 down to 56 something, based upon what what I just mentioned. But what I can say for this committee is that, as you all know, I've been running up and down this highway for the past 2 years trying to figure out how to fix that particular issue. I think we've come very close to fixing that. I wanted to publicly tell you thank you for taking the time and working with us on that. But for purposes of this conversation, I just wanted to let everyone know that of the 40,000, 30,000 were white. So all of these shifts that you see around the city are things that we had to do to accommodate the 4 majority-minority districts that we have in Orleans Parish. Again, it wasn't an easy task. However, it's something that needed to be done. And I just wanted to tell you, publicly, thank you for taking the time to work with us on that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Senator. All right, I don't see any other questions from the committee. I think what we need to do now, the way this amendment set is drafted, 53, it basically would replace the set that we drafted that we had adopted yesterday, because it's easier for us to read and not deal with multiple sets of amendments. So right now, I would like to move that we reconsider the vote by which we adopted amendment set 44 yesterday. Is there any objection to that? Okay, so seeing no objection, we will reconsider that. Now I'll move that we adopt set 53, as the president has just described, that we adopt that on Senate Bill 1. Any objection to that? Okay, so that amendment set is adopted now, and so members, to be clear, that set that we just discussed replaces the set from yesterday, and when you read that, the amendment with the original bill, you will have a clear vision of what we're doing.
And Madam Chair, if I could, I mentioned earlier, not to say that there won't be more committee amendments offered, I just would object to them in adding more committee amendments. But the reason I suggested that we defer this bill is, in fairness to Senator Price, he has a bill too, and I don't, I think it would be only appropriate for him to be able to share his Senate map, let you all get that opportunity to ask him questions, and then whether you do it at the end of today, if you want to take action on these bills later today, that's at the will of the committee. I just didn't want action on my bill to infect his ability to present his bill.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so, what we have, sure. Question from Senator Price.
And I appreciate that. And I was talking to Senator Harris because now my bill for the New Orleans area mirrored your bill, and you just made those changes, and they're going to want to do the same thing in my bill with those changes. Madam Chairman, I don't know what amendment was that or which one was it, but That's something.
It was 53.
Okay, 53, but the New Orleans area one was a part of
Well, we did it as an in globo.
Main Global.
Yeah, but it is broken out in the amendment. There is an area that's just Jefferson, Orleans, St. John, St. Bernard, I believe.
Okay,
And
that's what I'd like to do. My bill mirrored his New Orleans area, and they've made changes to it, so I'd like to put that into my bill, those changes. It's gonna have to be an amendment to my bill, but we have to work that out.
Okay, so when you're saying basically, we're not ready to take action on your bill yet today, or to consider the amendments, because we need to make a revision to that?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Point well taken. We're on Senate Bill 1 right now. Staff has reminded me that yesterday we also did adopt Set 42, Amendment Set 42. Is that right? And so we need to similarly move to reconsider the vote by which we adopted Amendment Set 42, because I believe this language is also included
that
in
was the
Set
technical
53.
amendment? That was simply technical.
That was the technical amendment. All right, so is this right? We need to, all right. So I'm going to move to reconsider the vote by which we adopted Amendment Set 42 yesterday. Any objection to that? That was the technical amendment. It's included in the new set. All right, seeing none, we will reconsider that vote. All right, so would you all like to make a motion then that we defer, as the president has suggested? Senator Milligan moves that we defer Senate Bill 1 to give the public and the members an opportunity to digest and understand the new set of amendments, Set 53.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lots of paper. I think I'm good. So we're going to go to my bill because his isn't ready. So get your coffee and then we'll go. Apparently, this is a good time for a break. Everyone knows as we're getting ready here for the either that or they're all bailing out before I get a chance to present my bill. I'm not sure which. Oh, goodness. All right, we're kind of resetting here. The next bill that we will take up will be my congressional bill, Senate Bill 5. Senator Milligan will chair that effort. So give us just a minute here. We're going to be at ease for about 5 minutes.